first of all, he shows up like 10 hours before the game. So I mean, that was really the main, like, I was, what? I came in the arena.
For
he was
22 years?
he was already done working out. I was like, what?
Kali ini, kami mengundang tamu spesial Luka Doncic untuk membahas secara mendalam tentang seluk-beluk Los Angeles Lakers. Dengan humornya, ia menambah banyak tawa dalam acara ini. Episode ini juga membahas perkembangan olahraga remaja, sebuah bidang yang selalu menjadi fokus utama dari Yayasan Luka Doncic. Sangat direkomendasikan untuk kamu yang sedang menekuni basket atau memiliki anak yang bermain basket di rumah. Ada banyak wawasan berharga dalam film ini.
What it's like playing together, how you feel playing with LeBron. I know you looked up to him as a kid, and now you guys are teammates.
I mean, it's great. You see, I've never played with a guy like this, but just to play with guys like him, like, it's unbelievable. Like, I can learn so many stuff. First of all, off the court, you know, all the things he does just to be ready for the game. And obviously on the court, everybody knows what kind of player he is.
Give me an example of a couple things you've seen, like being around him every day where you're like, he does that? Like,
well, first of all, he shows up like 10 hours before the game. So I mean, that was really the main, like, I was, what? I came in the arena.
For 22 years?
He was already done working out. I was like, what?
And then what about playing together? Like, you guys are so similar. The way you see the game, the way you process the game, the way you can, you know, abuse bigger defenders, you can bully smaller defenders. You're both computers, the way you read the game. Like, has it been fun to see someone that you understand the way he thinks and to be able to play off each other?
You didn't mention the bounce.
The bounce? Oh,
jump, yeah.
Minus the bounce. Minus the bounce. A lot of similarities.
We just, you know, we shared the ball. Everybody was getting open shots. So it's work in progress, but we're getting better and better every day.
OKC, so handsy, athletic. You know, they speed people up. They can't speed them up. Like, what's your take? Are you saying you have no speed?
Just don't show it.
Doncic mengatakan secara langsung bahwa pemain basket favoritnya sejak kecil adalah James.
Siapa pemain NBA favorit Ikagumi saat tumbuh dewasa?
LeBron James.
Ketika Doncic datang ke Lakers, yang paling mengejutkannya adalah James selalu tiba di stadion jauh lebih awal. Meskipun tidak seheboh 10 jam yang ia tambahkan air, James bercerita di episode-episode sebelumnya bahwa itu sekitar 6 jam. Hanya saja seiring bertambahnya usia, terkadang butuh waktu lebih lama, dan usia 5 tahun datang sedikit lebih lambat. Saat berbicara tentang kesamaan antara keduanya, Doncic bercanda bahwa kemampuan lompatannya tidak sebaik James. Sebenarnya, jika melihat kembali highlights awal karier Doncic, dia memang punya kecepatan, bahkan masih bisa melakukan dunk. Hanya saja bisa dibilang Doncic terlalu cepat belajar bermain seperti pemain veteran. Tapi sepertinya Doncic juga sangat sadar akan kritik dari luar terhadap dirinya. Berbagai candaan dirinya sendiri membuat LeBron di sampingnya sangat senang dan tertawa terbahak-bahak. Humor Doncic dan sikap optimis James, sepertinya mereka cukup cocok di luar lapangan. Kemudian, rombongan mulai membahas kecepatan dan ritme Doncic di lapangan.
It's always been his pace. He moves at his own pace, and he's never ever been on the floor where he's allowed someone to dictate where they're going to put him on the floor. It's always been the opposite, you know. And for us, when we all working off of that, we just got to stay ready. You know, obviously we've seen throughout his career, like, there's plays and passes that certain guys that in the league history have ever been able to make, you know, and, you know, for us, we all just have to make sure that we continue to stay ready, especially when you're going against anti-teams, athletic teams that try to speed you up. We always have to put our head on the swivel because you just never know. You just never know when the ball may find you. That's a good thing. That's keeping the defense off balance, and that's a great thing to have that.
One of the things about your passing game that I always really admire is the late pass. Like, did you do that as a kid, or is that something you developed as you got older? But it's like, it's almost over, and then you go like almost 180 behind you to someone for three. Like, where did that come from? Like, is that something that you always did, or it developed in time?
I think it developed during time. I don't think I did that as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, what I always said to my teammates, you know, once I go up, stay in your spot because I know where you were before, and then if I don't have any option, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah. It's great because the natural thinking of a defender is when you leave your feet is they kind of turn and they think, my guy's out of the play. I got to get ready to either rotate or
rebound or crash.
And then they come in a little bit, the ball's going over their head, they can't get back out. But you can't do that without the vision, but also with your size. I can make late passes, but my matrix of late passes was limited. You know what I mean? So you're able to make that high one over the top of the defense, catch them sleeping when they already think the play's over for them.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I really admire about your game. There's not a lot of people can do that.
Doncic memiliki ritme yang benar-benar unik dalam sejarah NBA. Inilah juga alasan mengapa James pada pertandingan pertama memberitahunya, jadilah dirimu sendiri, jangan berusaha menyesuaikan diri, fokuslah pada gaya bermainmu sendiri, jangan berusaha menyatu dengan tim, melainkan biarkan seluruh tim Lakers mencoba menyesuaikan diri dengan sistem Luka. Bagian ini juga menyinggung kemampuan Doncic dalam melakukan umpan tertunda. Tahun ini di Lakers, dia sudah beberapa kali membuat orang kagum dengan umpan belakang ala Luka Magic. Untuk bisa melakukan itu, selain harus punya pandangan yang luas dan penilaian yang tepat, fisik sendiri juga harus sangat kuat. Inilah juga alasan mengapa Doncic adalah pemain yang memiliki kemungkinan tak terbatas. Mengenai ucapan Doncic bahwa kecepatannya hanya bagian yang disembunyikan, belakangan ini kita bisa melihat dia tampak jauh lebih kurus di foto-foto, mungkin di musim baru nanti dia akan menunjukkan gaya bermain yang berbeda. Tapi tentu saja tetap saja, jika seorang pemain bertubuh gemuk dan lambat, tapi masih bisa mencetak rata-rata 30 poin per pertandingan, rasanya kamu juga tidak bisa benar-benar memaksanya untuk mengubah apapun, kecuali demi mengurangi risiko cedera.
Well, one of the things that I really want to talk about tonight is youth basketball development. There's been a study that claims that 70% of kids quit youth sports by the time they're 13 because basically the joy is pushed out of it. Too much pressure, not enough fun. I'd love to know about your childhood. Like, how did you fall in love with basketball?
Well, for me, I wasn't good at any other sports. After school, I went outside every time just to play basketball.
Yeah.
Playing hoops from a young age or playing anything?
Anything.
Anything.
But most of basketball.
Yeah, because your dad, Sasha, was EuroLeague.
Yes.
Played in the EuroLeague, great player. So you obviously...
He was okay.
He was okay? All right. Just making sure. But I mean, but that's also like my dad was a soccer player, so I grew up playing in the backyard playing soccer. It must have had an influence on you.
Yeah, for sure. Like I went to his games, when I started like being ball in EuroLeague games, I was ball for Olympia. So that's how I used my time to just get on basketball. They let us game before the game, halftime and after game. I was just shooting.
And what about you, LeBron? Like, what was the first moment when basketball came into your life? You're like, I love this.
I mean, I don't know the exact moment, but I think I was able to watch it. When I got to see some of the greatest that played the game, I was inspired by them. Like I was inspired by MJ, and the commercials they used to do back then inspired me. Just being outside. I was always a kid that just wanted to play. Right. Once I got into the youth leagues where it started being competitive, I actually loved the competitive nature of basketball. NBA guys and college guys at the end of the season, they get to host a trophy or whatever. I thought that was pretty inspiring. So, and as a kid, you're just always inspired by the ones that's already doing it. I think that was a big moment for me for sure.
Alasan jatuh cinta pada basket, Doncic dipengaruhi ayahnya. Sasa beberapa kali meraih gelar juara liga profesional, juga aktif membela tim nasional. Ayah dan anak pernah satu tim dengan Goran Dragic. Pada pertandingan perpisahan Dragic tahun lalu, Doncic dan Nash sama-sama datang ke Slovenia untuk berpartisipasi. Bahkan Chris Bosh, yang pensiun karena penggumpalan darah, ikut turun ke lapangan dan berhasil memasukkan free throw. Sungguh momen yang mengharukan. Bagian ketika Doncic bilang ayahnya biasa-biasa saja. Waktu pertama kali dengar itu, saya benar-benar tertawa terbahak-bahak. Di sisi lain, Bronny James lebih tahu cara menyenangkan hati ayahnya. Sebelumnya, saat ditanya siapa pemain favoritnya, dia memberikan jawaban seperti ini.
Siapa pemain favoritmu sepanjang masa?
Mungkin saya akan bilang seperti LeBron James atau semacamnya.
What I heard from both of you that I think is really important is you played informally.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
weren't playing on the playground. You were playing in the street. You're playing all the time informally. The study really highlights, especially in the United States, youth sports has been commercialized. When I grew up, you play soccer and hockey in the winter. You play baseball, box lacrosse in the summer, and it costs you like $100 a season. Well, some entrepreneur, someone says, well, I need to make a business of this, said, well, if I can sell the dream to the family, they might have a chance to go somewhere with this, but they got to commit to this sport for the year at 6, 7, 8.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Right? So what happens is now the parents are involved. There's a system, not playing informally. You know, it leads to personal trainers, strength and conditioning coaches.
Yeah. We didn't just cap it at one thing. You just did one thing all year round. And I think a lot of kids burn the hell out.
Wow. They still play on the playground in Slovenia?
Not much.
Even there, it's still more programmed now.
And it's like on the playground, you're allowed to make mistakes and nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah. I think every generation learns from the one before, but you also learn from the playground trial and error.
Yeah.
Like you go and play, you try stuff.
I mean, I didn't have a basketball trainer until second, third, maybe fourth year in the NBA.
Right.
My basketball training was just being on the court. Let's just go hoop. Let's go hoop. Let's
100%.
5-on-5 or 2-on-2 or 3-on-3. Or
Like I'm not here to say that everything's bad.
No,
Some
for
things
sure.
get better and better and better. We know more about a lot of things nowadays, but I do think that the commercialization has really made it less joyful, less creative, and then you don't have the social aspect as much.
Right.
You know, it's like the pressure the system puts on a parent, like I can't take this away from my kid. I got to give him this chance, instead of the kid being like, I'm going to the park to play, or I'm going to go in the backyard. And so I think it makes it complicated.
Bagian ini tidak berhubungan langsung dengan NBA, tapi layak dibahas. Olahraga remaja kini mengalami komersialisasi dan spesialisasi berlebihan. Bukan berarti buruk, tapi tidak cocok untuk setiap anak dan menyebabkan banyak orang kehilangan semangat lalu meninggalkan olahraga. Di antara mereka, Nash, James, dan Doncic berbeda usia, namun perjalanan basket mereka memiliki kesamaan sekaligus perbedaan. Mereka semua memulai dari jalur tidak formal, melewati masa sulit di sekolah menengah, perlahan berkembang dan menumbuhkan kecintaan pada olahraga ini. Setelah memastikan cita-cita mereka menerima pelatihan formal yang lebih profesional. James sendiri pernah berbagi bahwa saat kecil, selain olahraga bola, ia berlatih atletik dan menghabiskan waktu bermain di luar ruangan. Anak-anak sering bermain dengan aturan khusus, seperti menjaga satu lawan di seluruh lapangan, dan hal ini membantunya mengembangkan kemampuan menggiring bola. Namun, jika James sejak awal sudah menerima pelatihan profesional, sangat mungkin pelatih hanya melihat postur tubuhnya dan menyuruhnya fokus bermain di area bawah ring, sehingga ia kehilangan kesempatan untuk mengeksplorasi lebih banyak kemungkinan. Perjalanan basket Doncic bisa dibilang adalah puncak dari sistematisasi. Pada usia 13 tahun, ia menandatangani kontrak dengan Real Madrid dan pada usia 16 tahun sudah tampil di liga profesional. Namun, sejak kecil Doncic memang mencintai basket secara alami dan berlatih dengan inisiatif sendiri, sehingga ia tidak pernah merasa jenuh hingga meninggalkan basket, dan kecintaannya itu terus berlanjut hingga hari ini.
I've made sure that our kids, and my wife included, have always taken a break. Myself and Savannah, we've told our kids, like, this is not an all year round thing for you guys. One, we don't want y'all to burn the hell out. There needs to be some family time involved as well too. Like, so when you get away from things, actually makes you even more hungry to get back to it. And that's the burnout thing that we were talking about. You know, it allowed them to come home and, okay, now it's your turn. You want to play the video game? Go ahead, play the video game. You know, you want to just hang with your friends? All right, cool.
Sure.
You know, I think we did a great job as far as just making sure, yes, if this is what you want to do, you're committed to it, okay, cool. But also, there's no problem with just, you know, taking a little break here and coming back to it. It's no problem at all.
Pada bagian ini, LeBron membagikan cara yang diterapkan di keluarganya. Meskipun Bronny dan Bryce tumbuh melalui sistem, LeBron memastikan anak-anak dan istrinya memiliki ruang untuk mengambil jarak. Sekarang, Bronny bermain di NBA, dan ia adalah pemain yang memiliki semangat dan sikap positif. Selain itu, Luka menyambut kelahiran putrinya pada tahun 2023. Dalam hal pengalaman sebagai orang tua, di masa depan ada hal yang bisa ia pelajari dari LeBron untuk menjadi ayah yang baik.
How can we help them reach for their dreams? Of course, not all kids are going to make the NBA, but in all sports, kids should have joy, passion, support, belief, systems that allow them to learn the characteristics of teamwork, collaboration, learning how to succeed, fail, growing up at the appropriate times, resilience. There's so many things that sport affords us. 70% of kids have quit sports by the time of 13 because there's too much pressure in the system. There's not enough joy or fun, not enough childhood involved in youth sports. It's alarming, and it's something that I feel very passionate about, not just from the athlete development component, but from developing the health and wellness of our kids and our communities. Sports is such an incredible tool that offers us a place to learn, to grow, to find out who we are, make friends, teammates, to collaborate. So many gifts that allow us to succeed in life, whether it's with our families, with our careers, jobs. These are all things that can really be developed through sport. So when I hear kids are quitting sport, I think it's important for us to really dig deep and find out why kids are quitting. Why sport for life is not the goal here, where joy and passion and being able to enjoy the fruits of a childhood, being active, being healthy, being a teammate, having core memories around sport is so important to our communities, to our families, to our kids.
Bagian terakhir ini, Nash merangkum bahwa selain mengejar perkembangan keterampilan, bermain dan hasil menang kalah di lapangan, kondisi mental anak dalam jangka panjang saat berolahraga penting. Episode hari ini penuh berharga. Selain membantu kita persaingan sengit di NBA, episode mengajak kita menelusuri kecintaan dan esensi olahraga basket. Saya mendapatkan banyak manfaat. Terima kasih Mind the Game.